I haven't even started explaining it, so let me get there first, please.
Oh my God.
So, we're going to do something similar to what we did with King Tut, where we're going to kind of investigate the death of Julius Caesar and decide who we think assassinated him and why, because that's kind of a mystery. Huh? Yes, Julius Caesar was not a good dude. He tried to become a dictator of Rome and take it over so that everything was his way.
Wait, but this time we actually figured out who killed him?
No, it's still a mystery. Nobody actually knows who killed Julius Caesar. All it is guesses, kind of like with King Tut. So guesses about who we think did it or why. So it's going to be, again, kind of up to you guys as we go through the information to come up with your own opinion on who you think had Julius Caesar assassinated and why they had him assassinated. Okay? So let's go ahead and head over to Google Classroom. I'm going to present my screen. Okay. So for social studies, it should be posted, I believe. Yep, under social studies, it's called Julius Caesar CSI. Crime scene investigation. CSI, crime scene investigation. Yes. All right. So, yeah, can I finish a sentence, please?
Yes.
There are 3 things on here. For today, you only need 2 of them. There's one, the first one there that says Julius Caesar CSI conclusion. That's the one we'll do at the end where you'll tell me who you think killed him and why. So you do not need to open that one up just yet. The ones that we do need to open today are this Jones Julius Caesar student, because this is your guys' workspace. So we need to open up the student one. So start with that. This is the one where we do the readings and we answer the questions based off of what we think is happening. You give your opinions, just like with King Tut. And then if you notice, if you click through these slides, the information isn't on the actual slides, right? We have to use the PDF for it this time. So we have a PDF that has letters written by people, documents from back in ancient Rome, things like that, that we will read through those documents in that correspond to the correct number. But that's our goal for the day. We probably won't get to finish it, but we're going to start at the beginning and just work our way through. So for today, you need to have open the Julius Caesar CSI student part and the sources, the documents where the writing is. Okay? All right. I literally just said both of them. I'm going to zoom in on this so that we can read about what we need to do first. When you go to 100, it goes in really, really far, but I want to be able to see it. So there's 100 if you zoom in all the way. Very quickly. Okay, so for those of you just joining us, we have opened the Julius Caesar CSI student Google Slides. And then we also opened the Jones Caesar sources because we're going to do a bit of a investigation to see who killed Julius Caesar. Yeah, but this is also ancient Rome. People did not live very long. And he was killed, so people that are killed usually die young. Okay. Huh? No, because he didn't get to turn 56.
Really?
No, he died in March, but he would have been 56 in July. Yeah. Okay. So okay, those of you here need to stop talking out of turn, please. I can't even get a sentence out, and it's really bothering me right now. Please stop talking. Skylar, close your computer and work on what I asked you to work on. The things that I gave you this morning. Go get them for myself, Nathan. Okay, let's start by talking about what we're doing here. So CSI is crime scene investigation. We're going to talk about who killed Julius Caesar. So it's going to give us all of the information we need. And again, it's not known. We don't actually know who killed him. This is all evidence, but we can't actually say for sure who it was. So the victim's name is Julius Caesar. And if you remember, Julius Caesar was, he started to become a dictator in ancient Rome. Many people did not like him. They didn't like him very much. His birthplace was the Roman Empire, so he lived in ancient Rome. His birthday was in July 100 BCE. He died on March 15th, 44 BCE, and he was 55 years old. He had green eyes, he had brown hair, but he was balding because he was getting old. He was 5'7". He weighed 175 pounds, and he was a Roman consul. Don't forget that the Roman consul is one of the highest people in ancient Rome. There are two consuls, one that goes out and leads the war, right? And one that stays at home and makes sure that everything's okay in Rome. So he had a huge responsibility in ancient Rome. So, on the left is a photo that was created to show the assassination of Julius Caesar. On the right is a marble statue made to depict Caesar. So on the left is kind of a picture of what might have happened for how he was killed. And on the left is just a statue of his face. Okay, so our case summary here, what we are going to do, it says, born as a member of the patrician elite, Julius Caesar rose to fame in a large part because of how he identified with the lower plebeian class. Caesar quickly became popular in the Roman Republic. He was elected senator at age 30, and then at age 39 he was appointed to the post of military governor of Spain. In 60 BCE, at the age of 40, Caesar was elected for the highest position in all of Rome. He became one of Rome's two consuls. As consul, Caesar expanded Rome's territory to Gaul, allied Rome with powerful neighbors such as France, and worked hard to satisfy the Roman citizens. However, despite his widespread admiration and popularity, Julius Caesar was brutally murdered on the Senate floor on March 15th in the year 44 BCE. His death would plunge the Roman Republic into a civil war that would transform the Republic into an empire. Your responsibility, detective, is to uncover two questions regarding Julius Caesar's assassination. Who murdered Julius Caesar, and why was he murdered? So those are the two questions that you need to be able to answer by hopefully the end of tomorrow. We have 2 days to work on this. So, he was pretty popular with Rome. He was the consul, one of the big people, and then he was murdered literally in front of, like, everyone in the government. Like, they were having a government meeting, and then he was assassinated there. And assassinated just means that you murder a government official.
Wait, did they just walk up to him?
I don't know. We're going to read about it and find out, because honestly, I don't know a lot about it. So we're going to learn about this together. No? No. So, on our sources, on slide number 2 for this, source number 1 is a diary of Augustus Caesar. We don't know who Augustus is just yet, but we need to read through it, and we're going to answer the question of who wrote this.
I know who Augustus is.
Augustus, yeah?
Yeah, the guy on there. Remember the guy? There's a bucket guy.
Oh, yeah. He's in the video, yeah.
Yeah.
So, after we read this letter that was written, we're going to figure out who wrote it and what was their connection to Caesar. And then we're also going to talk about motivations and involvement. So we're going to answer these 3 questions as we go on. I'm going to start by reading the letter to you. I'm pretty certain that these are letters that were actually written. So, okay, well, no, this is a picture of it. Like, it's not the real source. Source number 1, to answer this question, says that this is a diary of Augustus Caesar after the assassination. So not before, this is after it. Yeah, this is the day after. March 16th is the day after it happened. It says, when will they see The citizens of Rome, all of us, have been tricked by the corrupt Senate. They have conspired to murder my uncle, the great Julius Caesar. In their jealous rage and desire for power, they have killed the one man who has protected Rome all of these years. Where would we be without Caesar, who simultaneously protected us from outside attacks while caring for the Roman poor? Who else would provide free land to Romans who agreed to live on the outskirts of the empire, settling it to secure the land for Rome? Is it time for me to rise to the public's call? Shall I demand the right to rule, to keep Rome on the path of prosperity that my uncle set out for her? I will not, I shall not, let Caesar's work be for naught. Our dear republic needs an emperor if it is to survive. So, Augustus Caesar. Let's start with, okay, well, first of all, who wrote this source? Okay. Augustus Caesar wrote this source. Okay. I'm going to do some of these with you, but not all of them, just so you know. This is a graded assignment, so I'll start you off on some questions and let you finish them. It'll just depend, right?
I'm kind of thinking it might be Augustus.
Okay. So Augustus Caesar wrote this letter.
Like the actual letter.
I believe so. Okay, what was his connection to Julius Caesar, though?
It wasn't Uncle.
Good. Julius Caesar was his uncle. Go ahead and write that down. I'm not going to require complete sentences until the very end when you're writing your conclusion. So if you want to just type out the answers on this part, that's fine.
Oh, what the heck? That's weird.
Okay. What was his connection again? Sorry. Julius Caesar was his uncle. Okay, good. Maybe I'll type it a different color so that you guys can see. Whoa, I don't know what I just did. Make it a color that's easy for me to see. I have really bad eyes. So don't do it in like a bright yellow, please. Bright green is not good either, no. Red is fine. Just make sure it's a color that's easy to see. Okay. Our next one, number 2, says motivation. What evidence can you gather as to why Caesar might have been killed? Okay. Looking back at that letter, did it talk about why he might have been killed?
No.
A little bit.
Let's talk about how he was good.
It is talking about how he was good.
Oh, no.
Okay, so Augustus kind of talked about how someone now needs to take over. So maybe that's evidence. If he's gone, somebody else can take over. I'm gonna call him JC, Julius Caesar. If JC is gone, yeah, that's fine. So if Julius Caesar is gone, someone else has to take his place. Someone else gets that power instead. I just hit enter.
Oh, I got it. You got it.
All right. So if Julius Caesar is killed, someone else goes to take over.
Wait, how do they figure out who's being the next ruler of Palestine?
They just elect them. Okay, then it says, does this source, so does this letter provide detail as to who might have been involved, who might have wanted him killed? It did a little bit.
I typed in the wrong spot. Oh my God.
Okay, go back in it and look. It does talk about who might have wanted him killed.
It does talk about who? Wait, what? That doesn't make sense.
The citizens of Rome, all of us, have been tricked by the corrupt Senate. They have conspired to murder my uncle, the great Julius Caesar. The Senate are the people of the government, guys.
Oh.
Okay, you throw it away, face forward, and pay attention, please.
I thought the Senate was like the bad guy, like the person.
No, the Senate is a group of people. It's the government. So Augustus Caesar thinks that the Senate is corrupt, which means that they are bad. So I'm not going to fill that one out. I'm going to let you guys fill out that one.
So what do you think? We put who in that team?
Well, this is based on the source. Ooh. Are you going to show us, Bradford?
No.
He got braces.
Oh, no. But the only person talking is
Bradford, you should show us.
do we do this? The only person talking is Augustus. So, what do you
No, Augustus talks about who he thinks did it. I literally just read it. That's true. I don't know, Yoshi. Maybe if you were listening instead of like laughing over there with Alex, this wouldn't be an issue, and you didn't have to say "huh" every time I said a word. Yes, you can write if you think two people might be involved. Bradford said that when he gets to come back to school, he'll show us, which sounds good. Okay. The very, very top, the first two sentences. The citizens of Rome, all of us, have been tricked by the corrupt Senate. They have conspired to murder my uncle. The corrupt Senate.
We can't highlight, huh?
No, you cannot copy and paste. You need to type.
I was just asking
Okay?
if we could highlight it, but we can't.
No. After you have done that one, you need to answer the next question. Involvement on a scale from 1 to 10. Provide a number that shows how great you think this person is involved. So, based on Augustus Caesar's letter, do you think he was involved? So, on a scale from 1 to 10, how involved was Augustus Caesar? And you really only need to write a number there of 1 to 10. How involved do you think he was in the murder of his uncle? Yes, again, all you need to do is write a number. I'm getting really tired of repeating myself 5 times, people. Not a difficult concept to listen to what I say. Literally only teach for 3 hours a day. Other than that, you barely listen to me anyway, apparently. So, nope, just a number. Why 2? Oh, 2 people? Yeah, that's fine. Well, no, because it's only asking Augustus Caesar. How involved do you think he was? Yes, he is the nephew. Julius Caesar is his uncle. Huh? Okay. So, I think that's enough time for that one. Let's go scroll down a little bit and look at source number 2. This one is the testimony of military commander Trebonius. So this is someone in the military, so someone who was probably at that meeting where Julius Caesar was killed. This is going to be something written from his point of view. Okay, so I'm going to go over and read source number 2.
I wonder if someone just ran up and killed him, or
Yeah.
or like used a bow and arrow, or
Knives? Yes. So at this point, Julius Caesar is pretty much the dictator of Rome. He rules everything because he's kind of taken over. This guy, Trebonius, is one of the 2 consuls underneath him. So Julius Caesar has kind of changed things to where he is the top person in power, and then there's 2 consuls underneath him that help him run everything. Okay? So this is his testimony. So his statement after, yeah. It says, I appreciate Caesar appointing me to the consul position. However, he has gone too far. A few days ago, we in the Senate is part of the government, offered to honor Julius Caesar by deifying him. We wanted to make him a god. There was no greater honor that we could possibly have given him. How Caesar acted lost much respect from me on this day. So they wanted to make him a god. Okay? When we presented him with this honor on the floor of the Senate, he refused to even leave his chair. He refused to stand up and receive the honor. What nerve this man has! Just who does he think he is? There's nothing that no one can imagine that would be more insulting. He gave us no reason for his refusal, only for us to think that he does not need our approval any longer. What are we to think? It seems that Caesar no longer wishes to consult with the Senate on how to manage the republic. Rome has been a republic for centuries, but he wants to return us to an empire. What do we do? So, Caesar is not dead yet. He's kind of running things and trying to take them over. And this guy is like, no, he can't do that. Right? And Caesar, for some reason, refused to be named a god. Who knows why? So let's go ahead and go answer some questions. Who wrote this, first of all? Well, what's his name? It says it right above this. Trebonius, a military leader. Okay, Trebonius is a military leader. And then I would like you guys to answer the next one. What was his connection to Caesar? You guys answer this one. How did he know Caesar? It's right above it in the name of the thing. Yeah. Okay. Take about a minute. What was his connection to Caesar as well?
I think it wasn't because no, like go get this person called on, but if I was doing I would turn down yeah.
Okay. So make sure you answer the next one. What was his connection to Caesar? Okay. I'm going to scroll down a little bit to motivation. Now, based off of this letter, what evidence can you say as to why people might have wanted to kill Caesar on this one? I think there's more about this in this one about why they might want to kill Caesar.
Because he didn't want to be a god. I still think Julius because he's not appointed consul.
I mean, yeah, but they're just giving us a lot of people's point of views, right?
I think it might be Julius.
So,
Would you be happy that you got appointed consul? Yeah, but he also wanted would he could do the
So what evidence can we gather? Why might Caesar have been killed based on this letter?
because Trebonius wanted to have him be the god.
Well, they wanted him to be a god, and he said no. But what did that kind of tell us about Caesar? He was stubborn. He didn't care what they thought anymore. Yeah. So Caesar has gotten stubborn and doesn't care what the Senate thinks anymore. Like they even want to make him a god, and he's like, no, I'm already above you guys. I'm good. Like, so he just kind of refuses. And then I want you guys to answer the next one on your own. Does this source give you any more details about who might have killed him? And if it doesn't give you detail about who might have been involved, then you can say, no, this source doesn't provide detail. Because some of them might not tell us more information that we didn't already know. Okay, I'll give you about 1 minute. Actually, I'm not going to give you a minute because while you're here, just on that bottom one, again, you're answering on a scale of 1 to 10. How involved do you think Trebonius was? Okay. I'm going to give you guys about 2 minutes to just kind of finish up this section for source number 2. Yes, Yoshi. Very quickly. We're going to give it about a minute. Let people finish typing out their answers. All right. Let's go ahead and look at our next one. So that was slide number 2. You should have that one done. Let's look at slide number 3. On this one, we have source number 3, which is a testimony from Caesar's bodyguard. And we have source number 4, which is words from Plutarch, who is a Roman historian. So someone who studies Rome, right? We're going to start with source number 3, something from Caesar's bodyguard. Okay? So if we scroll down to source number 3, we don't have a name of whoever this bodyguard is, but this seems like it might be from before he was assassinated. Okay? It says, last week, Caesar fired me along with the rest of the bodyguards. Why wouldn't he want us to protect him? Considering how popular he is, I figured he would want and would need extra protection. He told us that from now on he would be traveling on his own. We insisted that he keep us around, but it's of no use. I don't know what he's thinking. He keeps saying that nobody would risk attacking him, since he is so well loved that his murder would plunge Rome into a civil war. He thinks that nobody would dare bring this onto Rome, but maybe he's starting to believe this talk that he truly is a god and that nobody can hurt him. I have no idea if he is a god or not, but I think it is likely that someone may try to hurt him. Maybe Caesar fired us because he wants his privacy? If so, I just hope he stays home. There are many whispers of conspiracy going around, and I have heard Cassius making threats toward him. So Cassius is a new name that we haven't seen, but this person is making threats toward him. Hopefully, we'll see. So, based off of this, I don't know. I don't think so on that one, though. Because that's a good point, though. So, Dowling made a point that said, what if he killed himself? But if you think about Julius Caesar and him and thinking that he basically thinks he's a god, do you think that he would kill himself if he thought he was a god? No, he thinks way too highly of himself. I don't know. I guess it's a possibility, but we won't know for sure. Maybe. So, source number 3. Who wrote this one? Good. One of Caesar's ex-bodyguards. He fired them. I almost wrote ex-boyfriend. Okay, one of Caesar's ex-bodyguards. He got fired. He got fired. I'm just going to write that too. And then at the bottom, what is his connection? I'm going to let you guys answer that one because I think you could figure it out. It might even be the same as the first one. What is his connection to Caesar? I'm going to give you a minute to answer that one.
We pretty much just said it.
Yeah.
Did I have to put he got fired too?
No, you don't have to put that. I just put that. Okay. So this is from Caesar, one of Caesar's ex-bodyguards. He got fired. Poor guy. But his thought process was, what? Why would they? He was like, yo, why would he fire us? There's rumors going out about him. Maybe he thinks he's too good for us, right?
The second one, I was about to put
So I'm going to scroll down just a little bit here. Based on this, let's look at number 2. What kind of evidence did this letter talk about that might give you the hint that Caesar's going to be killed? Okay, the bodyguards might be mad.
and they're kind of making the goddess thing.
No, that was the general.
So the bodyguards might be mad.
I don't think it was them, I think it's the other guy.
What else could you say about why he might have been killed?
Well, one thing is that
Okay.
if he fired all his bodyguards, that's one reason why.
Well, that's true. He fired his bodyguards.
They even gave an explanation. They gave an explanation why they did it.
Huh?
Because it kind of felt bad for him. They said because they're probably too because he's probably so big-headed that he thought he could kill himself.
Yeah. So maybe, yeah. If you have extra information that you want to type rather than what I'm typing, that's fine. And then there is, on the next one, does this source provide detail on who might have been involved? There was a name mentioned about someone who might have been involved. So I'm going to have you guys answer this one and find that name. There's one name in there that's mentioned about some whisperings, some rumors about this guy. I want you to answer that one.
Wait, is it?
No.
It's a different guy. The only find account that got a lot of.
Mm-mm.
Found it.
If you find it, just type it out. I would like to see your guys' answer to this one, please.
What do we put?
You just got to put the name, yep.
And then I'm gonna rate it 5 out of 10.
I don't want to do this.
Are we on the 3 out of 5 is done?
We're on slide number 3.
I think so far, I think it's the military guy. I got 4
Okay. On this one though, you do have again the question to answer on a scale of 1 to 10. How involved do you think the bodyguard is? So far, I don't know. So, hang on really quick. Make sure you have 1 through 3 answered here. I'm going to give you guys about 2 or 3 minutes to finish up 1 through 3. Is that enough time? Okay. If you're already done, sit tight. That's fine. Who do I think did it so far? I don't know, because I also have more information that I've learned before about this, so I don't want to go too far, because I feel like they'll probably... I don't know. I don't want to say too much, because I feel like I have a different idea than you guys. Okay. Alex, have you finished writing this?
Yeah.
You're almost done. Finish up number 3 there. Yeah, sure, you done? You're not done with that? You're not done?
Oh, yeah.
One question. Okay, about 1 more minute. Okay, we're going to try and get halfway through this, so at least through the next 2 sources before we're done, so that tomorrow we only have about half of it left to do. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down on this slide to source number 4. These are words, so some paragraphs written by someone named Plutarch, which is he's a Roman historian, which means that he has studied ancient Rome. He did not live there, he studied it. Okay? So he probably lived in Rome after it happened, and now he is studying what happened during that day, and we're going to hear a description of what happened at the scene of the murder. Okay? By Plutarch, whoever Plutarch is. So source number 4 is written by Plutarch. He was alive from 46 CE to 120 CE. So this is about 100 years after, maybe 120 years after Julius Caesar was killed. Okay? No. C means, I don't know what CE means exactly, but it's like after death, if you think about it, like AD. So it's like BCE is before, like the 0, before 0. AD or CE is after 0. Before Christ's era. It might just be Christ era. Okay, but anyway, this is written about 120, 150 or so years after Julius Caesar was murdered. So this is kind of an idea of what happened that day, hopefully. It says, this place was destined for the scene of this murder, where the Senate met that day. Cassius, just before the act, is said to have looked towards the great Pompey's statue and silently implored his assistance. As for Antony, who was firm to Caesar, and a strong man, Brutus Albinus, kept him outside the house and delayed him with a long conversation on purpose. When Caesar entered, the Senate stood up to show their respect to him, and some came about his chair and stood behind it. When he sat down, he refused to comply with their requests. After several refusals, Tullius, laying hold of Caesar's robe with both hands, pulled him down by his neck. which was a signal for the assault. Casca gave him the first cut in the neck, which was not mortal nor dangerous. Caesar immediately turned around and laid his hand upon the dagger and kept a hold of it. And both of them, at the same time, Caesar cried out, "Vile Casca, what does this mean?" And Tullus, to his brothers in the Senate, said, "Brother, help." So basically they're attacking Caesar right now, right? Upon his first onset, those who were not privy to the design were astonished, and their horror and amazement at what they saw were so great that they did not assist Caesar, nor so much as speak a word. But those who came prepared for the business enclosed him on every side with their daggers in their hands. No matter the way that he turned, he was met with blows, and saw their swords leveled at his face and eyes, and was encompassed like a wild beast on every side. For it had been agreed that they should each of them make a thrust at him and flush themselves with his blood, for which reason Brutus also gave him one stab in the leg. Some say that he fought and resisted all the rest, shifting his body to avoid the blows and calling out for help, but that when he saw Brutus's sword drawn, he covered his face with his robe and submitted, letting himself fall. So that was kind of a lot of information, but essentially, two people, Antony and Brutus, stopped him outside his house and talked to him for a little bit to kind of hold him back from this meeting. Cassius was said to have prayed to Pompey, which is one of their gods, right before it all happened. And then this guy named Tullius basically pulled on Caesar, and that was the cue for everybody that was involved in the assassination to come up and start stabbing him, basically. Yeah. So it's said based on this story, this account, that everybody that was supposed to be involved at least stabbed him once so that they were all part of it, right? Not just one person, but everybody. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Let's go ahead and answer some questions here. Who wrote this, first of all? What was his name? Who wrote it? It says it right above this. He was stabbed to death, yes. His name is Plutarch. That's who wrote it. Okay, so Plutarch wrote this, and then I would like you guys to answer how Plutarch is connected to Caesar. Is it the one at the very beginning?
Yeah, the one at the very beginning, doing all the way to the guy behind him.
Okay, so we're gonna do that really quick. So we're looking right here.
Yeah, zoom in all the way.
If we zoom in on it, there is a guy with a knife, yes. All of them have knives. This guy has a knife, it looks like. I don't know exactly what it is, but yes.
You can see, we got proof of this guy. Yeah, I saw two years for the done with it. I saw the case.
All right, so you guys are answering that one about Plutarch's connection to Caesar. Oops, sorry. Okay, focus. Plutarch. Plutarch wrote this. What was his connection?
So it looks like he's fine.
Well, he didn't see it happen. He studied it.
Oh,
Because he was born over 100 years after it happened. So he couldn't have seen it physically, but he did study it. That's what historians do. People that are historians study history and learn about what happened in the past. So he is a historian. You would probably like it a lot. All right, next one, the motivation. It's okay, you catch up. For this one, what evidence can you gather as to why Caesar might have been killed? Does this one tell us anything about why?
Yeah.
It didn't really tell us a lot about why.
It mostly says how he died.
This is more of a how, yes. Not a lot about why, but more about how. Okay. Still doesn't really give us the why, but it does give us a how he was killed.
So what do
You can put what I wrote. No, write what I wrote. You can't. You're not skipping it. We're just writing a different answer.
None of us would have seen that.
That's true.
I had the idea that
Okay, and our next one here. Does the source provide detail as to who might have been involved? Is there a who in this?
no, it just talks about a guy.
So is there a who?
It's like they all plan to do.
Okay, but they listed quite a few names there. So I want you to list at least 3 people involved.
Oh, I want something to think. Why do I do this?
I don't know. Okay, list at least 3 people involved for that one, please.
And then we got the question about.
And then you have the same question on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay.
I'm doing that 100%.
Well, no, think about it. On a scale of 1 to 10,
I give this guy 0.
well, no, hold on. Think about the question. How involved is Plutarch? Not how involved is the people that he wrote about. How involved is Plutarch in the killing of him?
Dad gave him a 0.
Yeah, because you guys have to answer the question. You have to answer how involved was Plutarch, and we've talked about him. That was the signal to start killing him. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to finish up this one, and then we're gonna read one more before we're done for the day. I know, do not put a negative number. 1 to 10. 1 to 10. No, because the scale is saying number. If you put a 1, that means that he was not involved at all. No, 1 to 10. Yes. Yeah. Wait, Cassius and Brutus and them, yeah, they were all in the Senate. Yes. A descendant. I don't know.
A descendant.
They're his ancestors. I don't know.
If I was him, I'd take the snap and start looking people. Dang, Jalen, not so brutal.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and read number 5 on this one. If it's not working, Bradford, you could always watch it later or read the sources and answer the questions on your own too. That's really all we're doing. I'm just reading them to you. So if it's not working, just follow along as much as you can. Make sure you finish it up though, eventually. So on slide number 4, we are going to now hear from Cassius, a Roman statesman. And a statesman just means that it's someone that's part of the Senate. And we're going to answer the same questions. Who wrote it? What was his connection? What evidence? All right. So this is a conversation between Cassius and Brutus. Both of them were part of the Senate, part of the government, part of the people that worked underneath Caesar. Okay? Are you ready? Hold up, sorry. Yes, Gabriel, I'm aware that they banned YouTube. They opened it up for my channel. It should work for you. They should. They said it does. I don't know why. If it doesn't.
What I realized on there is that, like someone came up behind him and
Yep. Okay. Let's read our last one for today. Source number 5, Cassius, a Roman statesman talking to the general Brutus. Cassius says, "Aye, do you fear it, that beloved Rome may be doomed by this god?" Who's the god?
Caesar.
Caesar is the god. So they think that Rome might be doomed by this god. Brutus says, "I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. What is it that you would impart to me? So what do you want me to do?" is what he's asking. Cassius says, "I know that virtue be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know our outward favor. Well, honor is the subject of my story. I was born free as Caesar, so were you. We have both fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as heat. Once day the troubled wow, I hate reading old time stuff. We're chafing with her shores. Caesar said to me, Thy, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point. Upon his word I plunged in and bade him follow. So indeed he did. The torrent roared and we did strike it. Caesar cried, Help me, Cassius, or I sink. To which I helped him. But why? Now he is being named a god, and I a wretched creature who must follow. Is this a characteristic of a god, one who was almost taken beneath the Tiber, I ask? And it was I, a wretched creature, who saved him. So essentially, Cassius saved Caesar from dying one time, and now Caesar is becoming a god, and Cassius is like, what the heck? I don't like this at all. Okay?
That's probably Cassius behind him.
No, the person behind him is Timulus or whatever. Tilius.
So like Julius came out of nowhere.
Yeah. So first of all, who wrote this source? Words from who? Cassius. Okay, good. And then I would like you guys to answer how Cassius knows Caesar. How is he related? What's his connection to Caesar? All right. Okay, answer this one. How is
Wait, can I put like you saved Caesar one time?
mm-hmm.
I put down his station.
The god, wait, what's the god? Oh, yeah.
Cassius was probably the leader of the group who was trying to kill him. Or was he good?
No, I think Cassius was the one that started, he was just trying to make sure it worked.
Maybe.
I would hate to witness something like that. I would hate to be with them. I would try more.
All right. Once you have written down the connection to Caesar, our next one is the motivation. What evidence can you gather as to why Caesar might have been killed? So Cassius was talking about Caesar thinking that he was a god and stuff like that. Why would that be a reason to kill him?
Because he wanted to be God.
Okay. Caesar he wanted to be a god. So what does that mean? How much, like, in terms of running a country?
I don't think it's because like he regretted saving him and he didn't want to save him.
Okay, so yeah, I like that too. So maybe Cassius regretted saving Caesar?
So, and he was being named a god for Cassius saving him. And so Cassius probably got mad that he didn't put him a god
Maybe Cassius is jealous. Like him and Caesar both grew up in the same type of situation. They were both patricians who could have become consul and had all that power. And Cassius saved Caesar one time, and now Caesar is like in charge and basically thinks that he's a god. And Cassius is like, I don't like that. I think they did know, yeah.
Remember they said, the earlier report that Caesar went to Consul because he played a part in Flynn?
Yeah. Okay, so I'd like you guys to answer this one.
You
But
think Cassius might have known this?
I think most
maybe.
of those people
I don't know.
did not, like, I think most of those people did not, like, Syrians did not, like, Samson and so, not Samson, Caesar, so they asked Cassius to bring some, and Cassius said yes, and then they did.
All right.
We don't know how it started. We
So
don't know what happened.
this is the final part that you need to answer for today. Do not turn this in yet. We are not done. We will finish it tomorrow. So do not turn this in until we are done. So you need to get done with 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. So we did the first 5 sources. We will finish them tomorrow. And then you guys will write up a little thing about who you think killed him and why.
Okay.
Okay, we will see you guys online. You guys are good to head out, and we will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m.